Big win, Don Wilson here for Top MMA News. And I gotta say, fans, it doesn't usually happen that I have a little bit of hero worship, but it happens today. Stephane Patry is beside me, and probably really the reason that I became such a big MMA fan as it is, I was a Canadian fan when I was a kid, so all I ever watched was RDS. And since I believe, what was it, 2001, 2002, you had TKO on RDS every week.
Started in 1999, actually.
1999?
Yeah.
What was that, 5 years, 6 years before The Ultimate Fighter made its debut on TV, you were on national cable. And I gotta say, you know, that's where my love came from. And I gotta say, you brought in the stars: Mark Hominick, Ivan Menjivar, George St. Pierre, Payne Peters, if the name goes. Fans, if you haven't seen a Payne Peters fight, go to YouTube. You know, the stout Glamall fight. How about the best featherweight matchup we've ever seen in North America before featherweights were known? Hayoki and Hominick twice. Just had to get that out of the way, fans. Now let's get into what my guess was probably the hardest card you've ever had to put together. Why don't you tell me about some of the headaches before we jump into a few of them more?
Oh my God, you want to talk about headaches? We had a ton of headaches, bro. It was just crazy. And you know what? I'm very fortunate that I surrounded myself with a very good team of people that were able to pretty much handle the tasks that I had to, because I had to handle all these other headaches. Grandma got hurt twice.
Yep.
We had, I mean, Peltier changed opponent maybe 4 times. Todd Stout just had to pull out of the fight this week, main event.
Can we touch on that quickly? Sort of interrupt. Was the reason that Todd Stout couldn't show up, did it involve legal issues? I don't want to get too much into it, but the rumor right now is that it was a legal issue. Well,
you know what? I'll let Todd and his people, you know, talk about it, you know, because I know a lot about what happened, but I don't know all the details about the file, so I don't want to say anything that, you know, that's wrong or that's not accurate. But, you know, for those who are wondering, I'm 1,000% behind Todd Stout. We support him 1,000% in what he's going through, and he's still one of our top guy at 205. And as soon as he's able to fight and gets better, we'll be right there beside him.
And I got to say, he's definitely a top prospect at 205 in Canada and a really tough guy, so hopefully we get to see him again. Now, let's get into really the June card, because I think that's going to be a huge coming out party for you guys. Obviously, we have Babalu, Bosse announced, solid, signed, delivered. That one's for sure?
That's for sure. Both guys are signed. Both guys are training for each other. In my opinion, it's the biggest fight ever on Canadian soil, including all the UFCs that came here. I mean, Babalu Bosse, that's a dream fight. It's obviously a huge test for Steve, because Babalu's no joke. And you know what? In the past, Babalu has won fight without training. He's won fight with huge training camps, but this is probably going to be the best Babalu ever. He's been training night and day for like 3 months, shooting The Ultimate Fighter in Brazil. So he's going to be in top shape. So if Steve is able to beat the best Babalu, then the sky is the limit for him.
Now, you also announced Tim Sylvia on the card in June as well. Now, I got to ask, because the rumors are circulating, are we going to be seeing Tim versus Tim, as in Tim Sylvia versus Tim Hague?
We did talk to Tim Hague about fighting Tim Sylvia. He has a contract right now with a minor promotion out west, and we're trying to talk to these guys about maybe releasing him. But if they're not interested, they don't want to keep him on their card, and I understand them totally, because they've been marketing him. We're going to turn around and find a suitable opponent. But Tim's a great guy. Monty Cox is one of my very, very good friends. He's managing him. I've followed Tim throughout his career. He came here in Montreal a few times, cornering guys. A great kid, and I'm very excited to have him with us. And you know what? As soon as we can find somebody for him, we'll be able to announce that he's officially fighting for us.
Now, I just want to throw this out to the fans. Tim Hague versus Mike Hackart, or Tim Hague versus Tim Sylvia? Get on the forums, let us know. I'm pretty sure we all know the answer to that. Now, what about Martin Glamont, Phil Baroni? It's been a fight that's been thrown around a lot in Instinct. What are the chances of us seeing that happen?
Well, I'm going to sit down with Martin this week. The report we got from his doctor about 2.5 weeks ago was that he had a hernia disc in his back, but it's not career threatening, and it's not something that will get him out for a year or something, but we still don't know. Is he going to be out a month, 2 weeks, 3 months? I still need to figure that out. Obviously, if Grandmont's healed, both guys are signed. They're fighting each other. So if you add Bossé, Babalou, Baroni, Grandmont, Brendan Thatch coming back, and all these guys, I mean, this is going to be the best card ever.
Yeah, it's going to be literally probably the best card we've seen in Canada in years. Now, I got two other fights I got to ask you about. I have heard of the rumor circulating around of Thatch versus Paul Daly.
Well, you know what? I mean, my opinion, I know Sven Benny, being his manager, probably wants to be careful with Brendan. And I understand that.
I can understand that too.
But you know what? The other managers have to be careful and not sign to fight this guy, because this guy's a monster. I think, and I'm super honest, he can beat anybody at 170 now. Not in 2 months, not in 2 years, now. Anybody.
Well,
I don't care who it is. Brendan Thatch is going to be the best 170-pound fighter in the world soon.
Well, I have to say, the first time I saw his knee knock someone out back, I believe it was in December, unbelievable. This time, I didn't even see the knee coming, and he was already unconscious on the mat. It was unbelievable.
And Jory Erickson is not a jabroni.
No,
I mean,
no, by no means.
The guy is 11-3. We listed him at 7-3, but he's really 11-3 because he has a lot of unsanctioned bouts. Yeah. But he's 11-3. He's a top wrestler. He's very tough. Never been knocked out, and I mean.
Never been knocked out.
The commission says 18 seconds, but I think it was like 12.
I thought it was under 10.
Yeah.
I easily thought it was under 10. For a guy that never been knocked out to then lay on the mat motionless for 2 to 3 minutes, pretty unbelievable. The last one I got to throw at you, and I'm sorry for keep throwing the rumors at you here.
It's okay.
Stephane Patry, Jens Pulver, someone that we've heard, around the Instinct rumor mill for a while. Is that a fight that we could potentially see? Because Stephane seems to be fine after the last fight.
Patry. Jens does have a contract with us. We had some visa issues, and that's why he didn't fight in December in Montreal, in Quebec City, sorry. So now it's all taken care of. The paperwork are in order. But I heard that he signed to fight the same day for Cage Warriors or something. But that's not even clear right now. So you know what? When I heard about that earlier this week, I was like, okay, let's not focus on that. Finish this show, and tomorrow I'll talk to Monty or Monday, and we'll figure it out.
I'm sure you can steal him away from Cage Warriors.
Stephane Patry, I mean, I knew he was good, and I was, like I said in the press conference, I was very proud that we signed him. But now I'm proud to sign this kid. I think he can beat anybody at 135. So you know what? I mean, in my opinion, and my goal with Instinct right now is to build an organization where our top guy in every division can beat anybody in the world. And I look at Steve Bossé at 205. If he can beat Babalou, I mean, 205 superstar. And at the same time, I'm not the kind of guy to bring guys for the local guys to win. I mean, if Babalou wins this fight against Bossé, we'll build Babalou. That's going to make us a very strong 205. You look at, and there's also Todd Stout, Peter Nolan that just showed up tonight. 170 Brendan Thatch, 135 Peltier, 170. I mean, we have guys in every weight class. I mean, I'm ready to challenge the champion of any organization to fight my top guys.
Now, would that be an open challenge to any other Canadian promotion to send down their champ? Would you be open in that case to do a collaboration with another promotion?
Well, honestly, for me, I mean, I've never really had problems doing that. But at the same time, you have to understand that we're in a position where we're competitors. So, you don't want to help the other guy, using your promotion. But in the case of Brendan Thatch, anybody. I mean, anybody. You think these guys, nobody in Canada can beat Brendan Thatch. So all these guys have Canadian champions. So there's no way they have somebody that can beat Brendan Thatch.
Now, because we touched on that, obviously you're a competitor, so this is one thing I wanted to get in with you. You won the Battle of Quebec, obviously, in my opinion, when you took on ringside for signing champions. You took away Chris Clements, you took away Stephane Patry, you took away Darren Cruikshank, and you also took away Gagnon, 3 of which were then lopped up by the UFC. In that battle, do you feel like you won? And after they were all picked up by the UFC, how do you pick up the pieces?
Well, I'll be super honest with you.
We hope.
I'm not the guy that's going to stop a guy from moving further. Example, Cruikshank. He's never fought for us. Get an offer from the UFC. Let's go, Darren. I support you 1,000%. But obviously, it would be a different story if it was Brendan Thatch or Steve Bossé or or these guys.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let these guys go to the UFC like that just and lose my stars. So you need to choose your battle in life, and it was a huge opportunity for Darren, for Mitch, for Chris, and Chris is a very good friend of mine too.
You've been around for a long
so
time.
I mean, I'm not the guy that's going to stop guys from going further in their careers, but at the same time, I don't want to be a proving ground anymore. And Instinct is there for real, and we want to be the top promotion. We want to be the top alternative to the UFC, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Well, now, so I obviously wouldn't see you and Ringside working together for many reasons in a co-promotion show. Would it make financial sense for Instinct to team up with someone from out west, someone like, say, the MFC, or maybe someone from out east? Would that make financial sense for you to take some guys out there to put on a show, and for them to bring some guys here and put on a show and co-promote?
Well, actually, I'm working on a big deal right now with another promotion that's not from Canada, though. It's from the United States. And I don't want to say too much about it, but yeah, I mean, if you look at the guys fighting on my show, you have a little hint I do what I'm talking about. So there's a very strong chance that we're going to have a promotion working with us in the States very soon. I mean, I was supposed to travel there a couple of weeks ago, but I got swamped with the show, the injuries and everything. But next week I'm going there. I'm going to sit down, and you know what? I think there's a huge market for us there, and the exchange of fighters that you're talking about, I think it's useless to do that in Canada, because with the way we're building Instinct, tomorrow morning there's going to be nobody from these other promotions that can fight our champions. I mean, as soon as we put titles on the line, I should mail the belt right away to Brendan Thatch, you know?
Well, and really here's my final cast to wrap it up, because we're a Canadian website. We like to focus on Canadian mixed martial arts, but obviously that's the small picture. You're a big picture kind of guy. You've gone international. You took TKO, I believe it was to Aruba.
Aruba, Hawaii.
Yeah. So are you looking to make Instinct not just a Canadian promotion, not just a Quebec promotion, but a worldwide promotion?
Of course, that's been the goal since day one. Obviously, we need to take baby steps. Yeah. I think, with Babalu Bossé, that's going to be a huge card. If we could, if we can agree to an opponent for Tim Sylvia, whether it's Tim Hag or an even bigger name, and if Gramo gets sealed in time and fights Baroni, and then there's a lot of other guys. I mean, Brendan Thatch. Right now, it's going to be hard to get him an opponent. Yeah. It's going to be very hard, because the top guys won't want to take the risk. I mean, if I call Paul Daly, Paul's going to be like, no.
Because he's never heard of him, why would he take the risk against him?
Exactly. That's the thing with Brendan, is that he's so good, but at the same time, it's such a risk for everybody. So it's going to be a lot of hard work from me and Sven Bean to get him. But I think it's time for Brendan. Nothing against the guy he beat so far. The guy he beat the other day in December, Pat Valet, is a great fighter. Tonight, Erickson is a stud. And even if I bring Fio Verenti, Daly, or Nick Diaz, anybody, this kid can beat them all. So it's going to be hard, because if I'm managing a guy that's a star in the UFC or in Strikeforce or anywhere,
you wouldn't put him against him.
No way, But you know what? I'll get him somebody.
Now, my last question, because I got to say, it's something I've always wondered since I was watching those TKO shows from back in the day.
And by the way, I offered it to Ryan Ford.
You did?
I did.
All right, so just put that out there, and I take it Ryan Ford said no? Because he had a Bellator contract, or before he had a Bellator contract?
I told him, look at this guy, because I spoke with Ryan a couple of weeks ago, and he said, he's interested in fighting for us, but he has to, finish his contract that he has right now. And before the fight, I'm like, hey, take a look at this guy. That might be a guy in your path in the future. And then after the fight, I turned around and Ryan wasn't there anymore. I'm pretty sure he's not scared, but he wasn't there anymore. Well,
let's put it, I'm a huge Ryan Ford fan. Ryan Ford's hands have gotten much better, but he is a wrestler, and we've seen what happens when a wrestler just even thinks of going to the ground.
You know what? Everybody was telling me, and I was talking with Brendan before, everybody was telling me, you know what, Brendan's a stud, he can beat anybody that's going to stand up with him, but his weakness is wrestlers. But you know what? I'm actually starting to think that wrestlers is the best thing for him.
If they go for a takedown,
you can't shoot on this guy.
No, you cannot.
So.
And you want to know, that would be the perfect game plan. Now that people have seen not to shoot on him, they try to stand up with him, and we see what they get. Now, like I said, the last question, since I've been watching him for so long, How can you do such great marketing in Quebec when it seems that a lot of other promotions fail to do this, and you can do this sometimes without even having a Canadian main event?
Well, honestly, it's much harder than it was back when I left in 2008. I mean, you have to understand that I built this market for like to get to the level where TKO was at the end of the Bell Center. That was 8 years of hard work. I don't know what these guys have done in the 2 years, but you know, it's hard. I mean, tonight we have a pretty good crowd.
It was sold out.
But back in TKO, that kind of crowd, I would go and hang myself.
You'd be disappointed.
Exactly. But I know that we need to bring. I mean, there's no reason why that we had like 9,000 people for Bossil Arenas. Where are these people? So it's our job right now to bring them back. And you know, I mean, I don't expect for us to get 10,000 people overnight, but I'm very confident that with Bossy Babalu in Montreal, we're going to be able to bring back the TKO crowds.
Well, I got to say, that would amaze me. Now, when you say 9,000 people, I say Bell Center. Does that mean the next show on June 2nd could be showing up at the Bell Center?
It won't be at the Bell Center. We did talk to them, and you know, I mean, business decision. It wasn't the right time for us to go back there with what we are working on right now with some sponsors. Obviously, it's the Bell Center is owned by the Molsons, so Molson's Beer Company. So, and we're working on a huge deal with a huge beer sponsor, and they couldn't be in the Bell Center because they're not Molson. Yeah. So for us, you know, right now beer is a big factor, and we need to focus on that.
Imagine that, fight fans. Beer is an important factor in the fight game. I gotta love it. Anyway, fans, it's been Big Win Don Wilson, the man, the myth, the legend, Stephane Patry, Top MMA News.